Welcome back, everybody! My name is Heizgames, and this is part 4 of Titanfall Beta. And today we're going to be playing the final mode of the Titanfall Beta that was included, which is Last Titan Standing. Now, if you don't know, this is kind of like elimination. So basically, we're all going to start as Titans. We all were eliminated. So with that being said, let's start Last Titan Standing on the Titanfall Beta.
Okay guys, so I'm back here in the beta. So if you don't know
It's over, guys. We lost.
is,
Fall back to
it's
base.
basically where there's a couple teams, usually two,
You have to be the last Titan standing.
and we will compete against each other, and the main 6 is 6 on 6. Titanfall's always been 6 on 6. One disappointment in this game as well. But you fight against other Titans, and you try to take them down. So that's what we're going to try to do here. Anyway, like I was saying, the 6 on 6, that's the one problem with Titanfall, is that it's one thing for the Xbox One, but I'm a little disappointed that the PC version couldn't have bigger PC. Because for me, this game wasn't that hard to run. I mean, if you look at the system requirements of the PC version, it was 4 gigs of RAM, which is, that's quite a bit, but the graphics card was probably 2005, 2006 era card, just to run the game. And you know, most games now, like Splinter Cell Blacklist or the others, had Call of Duty Ghosts on higher system requirements. Now, Call of Duty Ghosts did have really crappy, what do you want to call it, really crappy visuals on PC. In fact, it was broken, and everyone was complaining about it, like, my goodness, if you go to the Steam page for Call of Duty Ghosts, man, it is basically a complainer page. Because they didn't do a very good job optimizing it for PC. So because of it, I'm getting shot like crazy. Because it wasn't optimized for PC, it was a bad game. That's the problem. I mean, it's one thing to have Black Ops and doesn't look great, but it runs fine. But Ghost didn't look super great on PC, and it didn't run well either, and that was the problem with Ghost. And they said, oh my goodness, it's going to be so much better. It wasn't hugely much better. It wasn't as good as it promised, etc. That's why you didn't like it. I'm going to die here pretty soon, but nope, I'm dead. That's good. Anyway, yeah, I mean, that's one of the things, but I feel like, yeah, as I was saying, I feel like this should be bigger than 6 on 6. I mean, if this is able to run on a 2006 air computer, why not bump it up, make it a little bit harder, like Battlefield 4 or something, then have like 12 on 12 or 6 on 16. It's one thing to be the Xbox One version, I understand, but that Xbox One version should not keep you from changing to a PC. I mean, if you think about it, for years, Battlefield, it's been 16 and 16 on the consoles, but it was like 32, 64, 64 on PC for years. I mean, it's been that way since probably 2006, for a while. So that hopefully they'll, if they do make another Titanfall, which I think they will do, because this game is, I like it, and I feel like it's a good selling game. Maybe not exactly a system seller for Xbox One due to the fact that it's on PC, but it's going to be a well-selling game. Trying to get shot here again, but yeah, it's not exactly, this is exactly, in a way though, this is exactly the game the Xbox One needed. I mean, Xbox One's, it's had some good games, but you know, the DRM and stuff, people haven't forgot about it, and and a lot of hardcore gamers are going for the PS4 because of that, and because Xbox One, heck, it has good games. I mean, Dead Rising 3 is good. I personally am not a huge fan of them, but they're good. I know they are. And then you also have the, Forza, which, I mean, I like those kind of games, but I have Forza 4 on my Xbox, and honestly didn't really prefer it to, like, Gran Turismo and Assetto Corsa, but it's a good game. It's not a bad one, so we'll see how that goes here. Hey guys, back for another round here of Last Titan Standing. Another round here. So last round was actually relatively short. We got through one round, and in fact, for once, well, I am on the militia. So the militia's playing again. No surprise there. I'll probably just go back to what I was saying earlier. I was talking about, like, you know, the Xbox One. It's a great console. It's a good console. It's a little bit overpriced in my opinion for what the specs are inside of it, but it's a good console. It has good games. It's just a couple of things that are going to need to be answered before I say the Xbox One is an amazing console. And that is, are you willing to lower your price or get rid of the Kinect? And I think that's going to be one. So they can get rid of that Kinect and lower the price $100, $150. You're going to have more people buying the console. A lot of people aren't buying the console because it's $100 cheap. It's $100 more expensive. And then you have the Kinect added on as well. And the Kinect, it's not that bad of a thing. I mean, it's a good thing, but most people don't use it. Most games don't take effect with it, and so it's not used a lot. So what's the point of paying $100 for a thing that's not going to be used very much in the first place? And that's what a lot of people like me are asking, and that's why, in a way, I prefer the PS4. Even though the Xbox One is a good console. And the PS4 doesn't have any good games, but I trust that Sony will make better games. If you think about it, if you think about the PS4, no, the PS3, excuse me, when it first came out, the games on it sucked. Now, I won't be the first person to admit that. It was just a terrible game release and launch. And the Xbox 360 was superiorly better. I mean, it had Saints Row 1, Mass Effect. I mean, there was a lot of games that were on there that weren't available on PS3, and heck, Mass Effect didn't even come out to PS3 until last year. But as the time went on, you start getting some bigger series. You got Uncharted, you got Naughty Dog specifically. You got Uncharted and Infamous. Those were games that I loved. Those were two games that I really loved, and Infamous itself and Uncharted PS4 are two reasons I may pick up PS4. And honestly, I haven't really thought about next gen console. People saying go on next gen console. Honestly, I haven't really thought about it that much, and probably not at the moment right now. I mean, I have a good PC that can run games just as good, if not better quality than PS4 and Xbox One, and I can pretty much play all those third-party games. And right now, at the moment, there's no games that make me go, wow, I need to buy an Xbox One or a PS4. There's not any right now. Now, in the future, do I think that could change? Yes, it could. Absolutely. There's Uncharted and Infamous, just two examples. And then there's some other ones in Xbox that have looked interesting. Now, Halo was one, but that's not gonna... For a lot of people, that's a system seller, but for me, it's not. And why is because I like Halo, but Halo 4 was probably... It wasn't a bad game. It was a good game, but I didn't find it as good as Halo 3. And if you look at the multiplayer in Halo 4, man, it's just weird. Because Halo 3, everyone played that multiplayer, man. That was like, it was Call of Duty for a while. It was just Call of Duty amount of players, like 200,000 people were playing the game at once. But in the last couple of years, that's changed. I mean, it's hard to find a server hack anymore on Halo 4. It's because a lot of people didn't like the changes that Halo did in Halo 3, Halo 4. And so basically for me, that's not system seller. For some people it is. But there's some other games in there I feel like Quantum Break and stuff. Those could be system sellers. But the question I have for Xbox One specifically is, do you have other games that you're going to make that don't involve developers of their parties? If you think about it, a lot of their exclusives are not actually owned by Microsoft. Think about it. Dead Rising 3, that's not a Microsoft-owned studio. They got paid. Microsoft paid Capcom. Titanfall, they're paying EA. They're probably paying EA to be Microsoft exclusives on the PC. But and then what was I thinking of? So those are just two examples. Let's just leave it there. Those are two examples of them using them. And then Mass Effect on the 360 and Saints Row. Those were all games that were made by third-party developers that were exclusive. But the question is for them, can you make some of your own? Except because they have Halo, Gears of War, and then I don't consider Alan Wake an exclusive because that's on PC. So that doesn't technically count. Titanfall doesn't technically count either because it's on PC as well. And it's on 360. Heck, you could buy it from previous gen. Now, is most people going to buy it from previous gen? Probably heck no. Because the game's compressed. And if you're the Xbox One, it's really compressed. The PC version, so, but it's still there. You can still buy it for 360. You're probably just gonna have problems finding players. It's just kind of a way to get some money, I think, for them. Just as well get some money because you think about it, there's a huge, way bigger install base. I mean, you have 3 million Xbox Ones sold, but you have like what 75 million 360s. So there's a huge market there to sell games. But again, that's the question that Xbox One's got to answer in the next couple of years. Because Sony has shown in the PS3 gen that they can consistently deliver exclusives year on year, year end on. Now this year I mean, the Killzone wasn't great, but The Last of Us was its epic 2013 game. This year, who knows? Is it going to be Infamous Second Son? Probably. That'll be its big exclusive. Now, not everyone's going to like that game, and that's fine, because not everyone likes superheroes, and not everyone's in a huge mood of Infamous. And Sony's had some other ones, like The Order. There's that one coming out. Now, there's some articles of people talking about how they liked it and how they thought it was how it was different and how they didn't like it. So we'll see. Some people have been talking about how they're seeing this and frame rates and stuff, but that game's early. I mean, there's still quite a bit of while to go before that game comes out, and I could say the same here about Titanfall. I mean, even though the game the graphics are pretty good. They're not the best I've seen, but they're decently looking good graphics. So we'll see how things go. I mean, in the next couple years, I think that the Xbox One and PS4 are going to push expectations. But the question is I don't like getting in the 1080p debate, but will they be 1080p? That's a good question. Well, in 3 years from now, heck, will PS4 games be 1080p? It may not be. Who knows? Because honestly, the graphics cards for the side, the computers aren't in the APUs, because I think they're both APUs in the Xbox One and PS4. Aren't that great of PCs. They're not high-end tech PCs. They're probably mid-range, lower to mid-range PCs. Now, honestly, you could probably make yourself cheaper than that cost. The lower cost, actually, you could probably put a Windows operating system on it than it would be to buy the graphics card that's probably in those things, because they don't use actual graphics cards. They use a APU, which basically means the graphics card and the CPU are built in, so it's faster response times, which is a good thing. And I'm not going to be bad about that, but those consoles are drastically behind PCs because my PC right now is running this game at 1080p, and right now I'm playing this game at probably a locked 30, but when I'm not recording, I can play this easily at locked 60. In fact, I think it's locked at 60 on purpose. I can probably turn off the settings and still be at 60 FPS on high settings. And this is what high settings looks like. So that's the question. And that means that the Xbox One is technically inferior to my PC, which isn't a high end. It's not a great graphics card. It's a good one. Yes, I probably got a pretty good one. I got a 760. But it's not the best one you can run on the market right now. Heck, a 780 Ti could probably run pretty much any game at once in Ultra. So there's a lot of things that I feel like the next gen consoles are going to have to answer before we get here in next gen. Now, graphics will get better, but the 1080p thing is going to be interesting to backle here, because I don't even know if the PS4 is going to be able to keep 1080p throughout its gen. Will it? Probably. But don't expect 60 FPS. Just saying that now. I'm going to say it right now. Don't expect 60 FPS from your video games. Not that you need 60. Now, I will say that between 30 and 60 it's a heck of a lot looking more fluid, but it's not necessary. It just makes your game look better, and you can brag and you're like, oh, look at the 60 FPS sexy game on my computer or my PS4 or my Xbox One. It's not necessary. In fact, in my opinion, I'd rather have a better looking game at 30 FPS than... Some people would say they'd rather have the fluidity than the graphics, but sometimes medium to high are night and day, and if that's the difference, it's night and day, and you keep it 30 FPS or 40, then do it. If you ask me, just do it. If it depends on how much better the game looks. If it's going to make the game look a heck of a lot better than it does now, then heck yes, upgrade it to high to what be the next greatest thing to play at 30. So it's not much different than 60 is fine. And even though everyone's talking about the 1080p 60 FPS debacle, it's interesting. But the thing is what I'm wondering is not that, it's 4K. It's an interesting thing about 4K, because 4K, people won't usually know the difference. But if you think about high definition, the consoles actually, in a way, pushed HD into television and other programs. Because if you think about when the PS3 and Xbox 360 launched in 2006, you know, there's high definition feeds of a couple channels, but it wasn't like it is now. Every channel is in HD now, and I feel like in a way the consoles had a part of it, because the consoles played games in 720p, 1080p, so that people were wanting 1080p TVs, and so people bought them. And because they bought the 720 1080p TVs, TV marketers thought, well, crap, we should probably make these people so the screen quality doesn't look so bad. So in a way, consoles ushered in 1080p. Now, will they usher in 4K? I don't know. That's a good question. if 4K comes around, who knows Raid's next gen consoles? Can they run 4K? I don't think they can right now. Now, would a PS5 be able to run that? Who knows? 8 to 10 years from now, I would say probably, yeah, it can run 4K, probably 30 FPS if they get a new graphics card. But it's a while away, we don't know. Who knows how long it'll be till 4K comes to the standard, or even if it does go in the standard, because in a way 4K is irrelevant. I mean, if you look at the things, you have to be like, I don't know, a couple feet from the television. And most of the time, when you play a console, you don't want to be close to your TV. In fact, you want to do that, why not play on your PC? A lot of people just sit on their couch, and a lot of people, when they play a console, they want to sit on their couch and play a game like 20 feet from the TV. So honestly, the 4K is not going to make a difference. It's not going to look that much different than it is now. You're going to be like, oh, look at this sexy 4K. You can brag about the specs, but it's nothing like that you can just go over and you can see a huge difference unless you're close. And that's the problem as time goes on, because with the TVs, they're getting better and better. Yes, they are getting better and better. I would agree with that. But the problem is they're also changing. They're changing in a way because it gets harder and harder to distinguish the difference between the looks of the television, and that may be a difference going down the line. Eventually here, you're not going to notice a difference in television resolutions. And when that comes around, man, it'll be interesting to see how consoles and other things react to when that comes around here relatively soon.
As you guys can see, that's just a little bit of what a Last Titan standing is. First off, I don't know if my voice is bad now, but I want to apologize for my bad mic. It's been kind of bad, and it doesn't help that I have to keep stopping the video because of the multiplayer. But thanks for watching. Please rate, comment, subscribe. Tomorrow I'll have the final part, which will be the beta variety pack. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, everybody. I'll see you in the next video, Titanfall.